I wanted to talk to you all about the clinical perspectives of blackmail. What happens in blackmail, especially emotional blackmail in relationships? The reason I need to make this video is I'm seeing more of it. I'm seeing more of it in subtle ways within dating relationships. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if the other partner realizes what's going on. In other words, when they're in therapy, I'll make note of it. Like I'll do a check if there's narcissistic patterns in either of the people's original background, their past family, past relationships. But when they deny that, but they're still acting in some of these measures, I get very concerned. And because I'm concerned, I want you all to be aware of what emotional blackmail is in relationships and how you know if you're in it and then what to do. So the first thing is, what is emotional blackmail? It's a threat or a rejection or abandonment. Something like, if you love me, or if you do that, I'll hurt myself. Manipulative guilt. I've sacrificed so much for you. Or this is how you repay me. Anything like that. Emotional withdrawal, using silence, distance, any kind of coldness to punish or control the other person. Or conditional affection, expressing words of support only when the person asking for it is getting what they want. Or, if you do this, then I'll do this. Now, make no mistake, everybody does one or two of these in a normal relationship once in a blue moon. But if this is your consistent pattern, you are being emotionally blackmailed. And it's important, the most important thing, as I'm going to go on to tell you, is your awareness so you can confront it. Now, what really does the harm is a person who blackmails you may be feeling abandoned, shameful, guilty, manipulative, whatever, but because of their behavior, because of their choice of words, they begin making you feel some things. They begin shaking you at your core. And I've seen people who are very stable, very strong boundaries and values get into this manipulative pattern. So I know if those people can be seduced by it, you can too, and it's important you're aware of it. So the first thing is, you may begin to internalize some guilt and shame, stuff you never felt before. You do chronic self-doubt now. You start having more anxiety, more depressive symptoms. You start feeling diminished self-esteem, like maybe I am no good, maybe I am really a bad person. You have difficulty setting boundaries with them or expressing what you need. And as this goes on, you start kind of feeling lost, like, wow, maybe this person is helping me see a side of myself I never saw before. Well, they are. But the reason they're doing is they're manipulating you. They're shifting you into becoming another person. So you may end up feeling a consistent fear of displeasing or upsetting the other person, or you may start feeling responsible for your partner's emotional reaction. Like they're totally out of control, and they'll say, you know why? Because I trusted you and I loved you, and then you do this. Or you might have a tendency to suppress your own needs for this other person. Who knows? They might have given you a sob story or told you about their past, and you felt bad for them, and you started feeling, man, I'm really a bad person. I was raised really easy. I should give them a break. And you start to regularly express and feel, like experience guilt. And you start, you have a hard time saying, wait a minute, this is a boundary. I do this all the time because this is a value it's protecting. You don't do that anymore because you start feeling guilty. And because you're lost, they've basically knocked you off your center. You don't really know what to believe. So I'm going to tell you what I want you to do if I was your therapist. So this is the important part, and probably the part you want to take note. You want to increase your awareness. You want to start stepping back and begin to acknowledge the presence of this emotional manipulator. Like if they're saying things about you that you know are not true, friends would never say this, and your family members would never say this, then this person is manipulating you. Begin reasserting and establishing boundaries. Especially if you're dating, this person might not, and I'm going to tell you probably not, a good person for you to be around. This is a person who's going to manipulate a situation. This person needs help, but it's not you, it's a therapist. Start basically seeking support. Now it's time you can talk to your friends and say, I just want to roll something past you, or what do you think about this? You don't have to rat out who you're dating, but you do have to give scenarios of what's happening so your friends can give you advisement. Talk to your minister, talk to your mom or dad if you're close to them. It's really important that you give your partner a fair bet, maybe keep their name out of it, but let your parents or your good friends know that this is happening someone close to you. Maybe even you, what would you say? What advisement? And see what they say. I think documenting really anything your partner says that concerns you. Like, let's say you said this weekend, I'm going to go stay with my friends. I'm going to go for a girlfriend's or guy friend's weekend. And your partner threw a fit or said something like, I just don't want to live when you're not here. Okay, that is manipulative. That is a sign. And if they say that at that time, they may be suicidal, but that's not your job. That is when you would call in a therapist or strongly encourage them to go to therapy. And that also would be a time you'd say, you know what? I want to be with someone who is equal to me, not someone I have to take care of. So if you're feeling that way, then it's important you go to the ER right now, because I am going on this weekend. And that would be a professional, helpful thing to say to them. And lastly, practice self-care. Sometimes people get so overwhelmed by taking care of the relationship, they forget they're their own person and they need to take care of themselves. I would tell you right now, if you're having any of these symptoms, I personally believe it's time to seek a therapist's help, because you're going to have to make some hard calls. You're going to have to set some really strong boundaries, and that's hard to do when you have love in your heart for this person. With a therapist's help, they can help you set the boundary, and it's going to go a lot better. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.